What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Salami Squad around the world? The Meat Pack is in the building. We are here to talk about the SPL Smite Pro League Week 3. About to recap some of these games. Had some upsets, had some awesome games going into this weekend. We're going to break them down for you. How about, Richie, we get them started here?
Just fucking get right into it, brother. Let's not waste any time here. So Friday, May 7th. Start of week 3 here. We got the Valhalla Valkyries versus the Camelot Kings, bro. And if you remember from week 2, the Kings were down bad, bro. They had a real bad week 2. They came out, won this set against the Valkyries 2-0. And this was the fastest set we have seen so far in this SPL league or year season, only got the first tier of their last item both games. Like, this was a roll, bro. They wrecked them. So getting into game 1 here, the Kings won 17-2 at the 23-minute mark. And man, if you got to credit someone, Big Man Tings went insane in the mid lane with Tiamat. And that's going to be a common theme. Kind of seems like all these mid laners just figured out Tiamat this week and gave it a go here. Big Man Tings start out huge with it, going 7-0-3, 18k damage. And really, honestly, the first person in the SPL to show what Tiamat is capable of. We saw a couple of picks before, but not really utilizing the way we wanted to see it. Also, big shout out to Variety in the solo lane against Ducky, who was playing Guan Yu. We had Variety on King Arthur. And, just top to bottom, Kings kind of rolled them this game 1 here.
Yeah, no, definitely. At least a short match, rolled them. Big play from Big Man Tings. We obviously saw last week with the Valkyries. Johnny having a big pop off with that Loki and ran the Ao Kwang for this game 1, and it just kind of didn't work. I mean, they got whopped, brother. So kind of is what it is. The Valkyries needed this big time.
Kings needed this.
Kings needed.
Getting on to game 2 here again. Kings win 16-2, essentially the same game we just watched. Only difference was Big Man Tings didn't have a hard carry. Really, the whole Camelot Kings team all won their lanes, all played, won at 22 minutes. I mean, that's incredibly fast for an SPL game. Right. I want to give a shout out to Captain Twigg in the jungle playing that Fenrir. Really got the team off to a great start, and that's what got that snowball going. Big lead on Johnny early game. I think the Valk should have banned King Arthur here. That's just kind of seems like that's the common theme in this season 8 and this SPL season. If you have King Arthur in your solo lane, you're probably going to win the fucking game.
Arthur's been working. We've seen some flex picks with some junglers in the solo be working, but King Arthur's definitely popping off in that solo lane. And just another game from the Kings here where they were just gelling, Magellan. Just coming together as a squad. Like you said, no hard carry, but came together as a team and got the Kings Valkyries looking down bad here.
Yep. Quick shout out to Genetics in that second game, putting out 7k healing with Yamoja. That's pretty juicy. So let's get on to the second set of Friday. We got the Oni Warriors versus the Olympus Bolts here. And again, man, these Bolts just came out, did it to them, won 2-0 in the set. And we've been waiting for it. Barracuda's going to get hot, got hot here. So game 1, Bolts win 20-20 at the 42-minute mark. I mean, this honestly was an absolute barn burner, super long game. And if you're looking at the Oni Warriors composition here, super meta team. They went Afro, Athena, Kuchu Lane, Nemesis, and Anher. So much sustain. Incredible team. Just at the end of the day here, Barracuda and Venenu ended up leading the charge for the Bolts here, getting that W. And we're going to say it every week. I'm going to say it every week. After 25 minutes down, 25-minute mark, it just comes down to team fight tactics, bro. So who's going to win that team fight? Who's going to win the game? This was 42 minutes. I mean, this is just stupid long. So all the stats in this game are obviously ridiculous, but I think they're skewed because that 42 minutes here.
Yeah, this one did get played a little bit for sure, but I mean, definitely on the Bolt side of things, had a real good game from Barracuda, obviously Venenu, however, but they just came together as a team. Definitely a long game, but was able to just get them team fights, get them objectives, and take this game home.
Exactly. So getting on to game 2 here, Bolts kind of figured out what the Warriors were trying to do here, had a bit of a more dominant performance on them. They won 16-4 here. 30-minute mark. So still a longer game here, but more dominating. And essentially both teams just ran it back here. We saw a lot of the same character picks. And looking at the Oni Warriors here, dude, I thought Vogt and Dardes really didn't play as good as they did in game one. Honestly, I think they kind of, let the squad down here, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we saw from the Bullets here in this game a big switch up game one to game two. The Barracuda switching that Heimdallr to the Jingwei. Yep. Still was able to figure it out. Beninu obviously still had the Tiamat and the King Arthur there. Awesome Jake on the Ares. And that's a good little composition for them. Seemed to work game two. Like you said, they were able to make some adjustments. Good coaching. Figured out. Just kind of rolled them there in that second game.
Yep. Moving on here to Saturday, May 8th. We got the big boy matchup here, dude. I was hyped for this. We got the Leviathans versus the Dragons here. And both these teams seemed unstoppable through week 1 and 2 here. Yeah. And, they were saying since week 1, what's going to happen when these teams meet? Finally happens here. Dragons won this set 2-0. I mean, pretty commanding W in this game 1 here. So looking at it, Dragons won game 1, 14-5 at the 26-minute mark, man. And all eyes were on Shinto versus Herwind in that mid lane. That, honestly, two best mid laners just going at it here. Tough matchup for both of them. Honestly, they played pretty relaxed. I think they were both a bit fearful of the other. The unsung hero for me this game for the Dragons was the jungler, Sam4 Soccer. 2 perfectly initiated team fights with that Hun Bats, hard CC ult. Just made it happen. And again, 26-minute marks. I mean, you got fucked on.
Yeah, it definitely did. Like you said, this kind of the two powerhouses of this league, kind of excluding the Bolts, but the two powerhouses of this league going at it. And I mean, the Dragons went in there and did their thing. This game 1, fine, okay. We saw a super strong performance leading the team to the damage and obviously the mitigating. Had some good structure damage as well. So, I mean, that whole team they played good, man. I didn't know how this set was going to go. I didn't know, I thought, like you said, these two matchups, you got Shinto and Herwind and then the solo lane matchup there. So I knew this was going to be great, but that game 1, man, a big shout out Fine OK on that in the solo with the Cullen.
Yeah. Big sustain on that. Going on to game 2 here. And again, it really felt like the Leviathans kind of figured it out here. But the Dragons ended up getting the W 10-11 at the 28-minute mark. First deficit W that we've had all season here. Yeah. And like I just said, all the way through, it felt like the Leviathans kind of figured it out. They were giving them a run for their money, but got to that 25-minute mark, just comes down to who wins that last team fight, and then they lost it. So Dragons won that last encounter, ended up taking the game, but it really looked like they were going to push to game 3 here. The Leviathans came back strong. Just wasn't enough this time around, but I do think every time we get this matchup between these two SPL teams, it's going to just be an electric matchup, dude. But hey, Dragons remain undefeated through week 3 here, man. I'm giving them their props. I don't see anyone beating them at this point.
Yeah, only undefeated team at this point. It is going to be hard to see them lose a game. I would like to see what that matchup with the Bolts is going to look like for sure. Obviously, the Leviathans were great. And I mean, like I said, a deficit, but still being able to win a game. And I mean, from the Dragon side of things, I mean, no one really on the team stood out crazy, you know, especially coming off the first 2 weeks of what Herwind pulled off in that mid lane. I mean, he was kind of quieter in this segment 9. And I mean, Final K still played well. Sam4 Soccer on that jungle. In this game too, they just came together as a team, man. They're just gelling. That's a 5-man squad right there that just knows how each other play. They know the right picks, they know the right bands, and just like I said, team fight, man, team fight tactics. Pretty sure that's a game, but
it definitely is.
Yeah, just gelling. I like just saying the word gelling. That's what they're doing.
Facts. Moving on here to this next set, we got the Tartarus Titans versus the Solar Scarabs, and the Titans were another team who just had a really fucking rough week 2. Yeah. So I think we were expecting a bounce back here, and that's exactly what we got. Titans win the set 2-0 over the Scarabs, man. So we got to talk about these Scarabs in a sec here, because I don't know what's up with that. Going into game 1 here, Titans win 14-7 at the 30-minute mark. Inboned was playing Kuzenbo, and then Oberonic was playing Merlin. Really didn't do what the Scarabs need. Effectively did absolutely nothing in the late game. I blame the loss on them. Solo or Troll had 31k damage mitigated on the Guan Yu for the Scarabs, and they still lost the game. I mean, that's insane. What's going on there? MVP of this game, in my opinion, goes to Benji in the solo for the Titans. 2-0-7 with the Sun Wu. 19K damage, 26K mitigated. I mean, just absolute powerhouse coming out of that solo lane.
Yeah, no, Uchumda Ubale. Yeah.
Yes. Getting on to game 2 here. Titans essentially just ran it back here. I want to make a quick point. Well, first of all, Titans won 28-12 at the 35-minute mark. But last week, I was talking about how bad their support Aurora played, and he fucking brought it to this set. You know, looking at this game 2 here, 5-3-17, 15K damage, 45K mitigated on an Ares. I mean, that's incredible. And let's just talk about the Ares pick for a sec. I mean, that forces the other team to get beads. Yes. You just have to.
Yeah, no, definitely big play. I mean, when you're getting almost 90,000 damage mitigated between your support and your solo, Aurora and Benji, I mean, that's eating a lot of shots. That's going to allow, Scarrett on the jungle to open things up, and Paul in the mid really be able to open these things up. And I mean, Cyclone on the on-her in this game, I mean, was all right, but, wasn't really the factor, I think, to get this thing done, man. Everybody on this team had over 10,000 player damage. And I mean, this was a strong performance here from the Titans.
100% agree. And again, on the other side of that, looking at these Solar Scarabs, man, I'm waiting for Zapman to wake up. I think the Scarabs need to switch up something, tactically. It feels like their approach isn't right. They're doing fine early game, but once you get to 15, 20, 25-minute, the games are just slipping away from them. They are losing just about every late game team fight here. So, look for some hard switch ups from the Scarabs here going into week 4.
I think it's needed, yeah.
Yep, so now getting into Sunday here, we got the Atlantis Leviathans versus the Oni Warriors here. Leviathans win this set 2-0. Both of these teams' second set of the weekend. Looking at game 1 here, Leviathans win 19-7 at the 35-minute mark. And Shinto won the game early in the mid with Tiamat. Finished 8-0-5, 35K damage. 3K structure damage, sending those lane minions out. It's effective. And honestly, it really feels like Sharon's coin on Tiamat is just broken right now. Once you get that fully built, it just procs everything with her so well. And I just don't have the answer for the Warriors, man. I'm waiting for them to get it together here. I mean, week after week, I'm expecting a better, higher performance from them. And I'll use your word here. They're just not gelling.
Definitely not gelling. I mean, this is kind of the obey of last year, this team going on here with the Oni Warriors. And I've said for 2 weeks now, I mean, I think they have good players, just something's not really working. But definitely big shout out for the Leviathans. Any team that's not named the Dragons, I mean, the Leviathans are probably the best team going in on this thing right now. Obviously, strong. I think right behind her when Shinto is probably clearly the second best mid running this SPL right now.
Shinto Rajan is something like you've never seen before. That shit's different.
Yeah, I mean, Jakora on the Hunter, man, they just gelling.
Yes, sir. So looking at this game 2 here, much more dominating performance from the Leviathans here. They won 18-4 at the 31-minute mark. And the Warriors did try to make adjustments. They switched up their comp, switched up the bans. But, their support, their mid, and their Hunter all just kind of stunk up the joint, dude. I was surprised that the game lasted this long. That's it.
Yeah, no, honestly, pretty cut, dry, and some quote along those lines. But, yeah, just strong form in Shinto, Jakor, Panatom. I mean, Leviathans are good, man. They're a good Smite Pro team. So Warriors kind of aren't.
Possible worlds matchup here between Leviathans and Great Dragons here. So very early prediction here. But when we get into phase 1 playoffs here, I think those are going to be the teams to watch here.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get into the last set of the weekend, Sunday night. Usually save best for last. Not really this time around. We had the Solar Scarabs versus the Camelot Kings. And one team is trending up, other one's trended down. Kings win here 2-0 on the set. Looking at game 1, Kings won 12-1 at the 23-minute mark, dude. Want to talk about a fucking whopping, dude? Yeah, bend over, get your lashes, okay? Variety had top damage, top mitigation in the solo lane with that King Arthur. And on the other side of that, just absolute shit show from the Scarabs, man. I mean, I challenge everyone to go look at these post-game stats on Smite's website and just look at the Scarabs game 1 here. We're talking all zeros everywhere. I mean, just absolute domination from the Camelot Kings here, making the Scarabs look like plebs.
Yeah, definitely expected more out of the Scarabs. I potentially even thought this was maybe going to go to 3-game set.
Yeah.
Just because I do still think the Scarabs are competitive and whatnot. But, like you said, Kings are just trending up, man. They looked really, really good in this game. Like you said, 12-1, under 25 minutes. Played really good as a team. Captain Twigg, Big Man Tings, variety on that King Arthur, man, holding that shit down, brother.
Yes, sir.
But definitely a little disappointed with the Kings in this game and in this set in general. But here's what it is, man. Kings are good too. Scarabs are looking a little,
Yeah. So looking at this game 2 here, I will give the Scarabs a little bit of respect here. They did make some good adjustments.
Right.
The Kings end up winning this game here 7-6 at the 28-minute mark. Great, like I just said, great adjustments from the Scarabs. They played 1,000% better than they did in that first match, but just still wasn't enough. And again, just looking at the Scarabs, man, all weekend, all sets, just their support in bowed, in bowed, however you say it. Honestly, my LVP of the week, just got to play better, dude.
LVP, yeah, no, I could agree with that for sure on that support. The support's the rock of that team. The support is, can make or break your comp and can get you over that edge. But big shout out to the Kings here, man. They came out 2-0, ending the weekend, getting nice 2 dubs, asserting themselves as a good team. And then this SPL, definitely, I think, top 4, right behind the Bolts.
Right in the middle of the road, 100% agree with you. Kings had a great weekend this weekend, but that about wraps it up here, brother. I'm excited to see what these J Dragons cook up next week, bro. It's like watching the super team.
Definitely watching the super team, dude. This is 2012 Miami Heat going on right here with this fucking J Dragons. But definitely look forward to see these week 4 matchups. That being said, the meat pack, fuck out of here, gentlemen.
Perfect.